Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dylan James. I'm a mindset coach that loves to focus on relationships. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about how not everything is a trigger. And I think this is really important to understand, especially when we are taking into account things like emotional availability, making sure that we're not holding on to past experiences, regulating our nervous system, and attuning our nervous system towards the types of experiences we want to normalize and create within our life. And a part of that is really being in tune with your body. And one thing that I've seen just typically within social dynamics is the tendency for some people, not everybody, but some people, to be a bit manipulative and make others feel as though their proportional emotional reactions to things that are undesirable are just being triggered. So, we're going to talk about this, we're going to dispel this, and I'm going to explain the difference between a trigger and a proportional emotional response to what is occurring within your reality and why those emotional responses are valid. And it's very necessary for you to form a strong relationship with your ability to feel and regulate your emotions because there are certain moments where embodying that emotion, stepping into it, and speaking through it in a constructive way is going to set the example that's necessary in that moment. But first, let's talk about the difference between a trigger and a proportional emotional response to what's occurring in front of you. The difference is going to be in your perception. So there is an objective reality that is occurring, and there is our subjective perception of reality that we are instantaneously forming through our belief system. So with our mind, when we are going into different environments, it's taking in all the information and rapidly processing it like quicker than you can even realize. And what's occurring is when your brain is coming into contact with different stimulus, it's going back into your subconscious mind, comparing to your past experiences, if we're still holding on to them, or our beliefs, and projecting what we assume will occur. And if we're holding on to negative experiences, oftentimes that means something pops up, it's familiar to past experiences, it's confirming beliefs that we hold. We're shifted back into that old way of identifying and operating. Suppressed emotions come to the surface, and we project those suppressed emotions that we're feeling and assume that the past experiences that we've gone through are going to reoccur. And moments like that, that's going to be where you're triggered. So essentially, you're projecting emotional baggage onto the present moment, which may be disproportional, or the way that you're perceiving reality is off. Let me give you an example here because I know that sounded very theoretical. So I'm going to give you an example that will make sense. And I've actually used this example in previous videos, but let's just look at the, beliefs that we may hold about relationships and past experiences. So if somebody has a history of being cheated on a lot and they have not addressed that, they're still holding on to the emotional impact of those experiences. And maybe they also grew up in an environment where they witnessed both of their parents participate in infidelity, or one of them participated in infidelity. So just foundationally within their belief system, the example that has been set is that people cannot be trusted. It's normal to be cheated on within relationships. All right, so somebody has that identity. They're dating somebody, and let's say, should pick a random example, they see that this person uh, adds a random person on Instagram, somebody that they don't know. For whatever reason, they see this. Hopefully, they're not stalking and checking their friends list constantly. But for whatever reason, they see that they add somebody and they're liking that person's pictures. Now, depending on the boundaries that you hold within a relationship, maybe this is deemed inappropriate, but for educational purposes, let's say in this current set of circumstances, the two individuals have decided, hey, it doesn't matter what we do on social media, so long as we remain respectful. It's okay to have a social life. It's okay to like people's pictures. Just make sure that you don't cross any boundaries and do anything that's inappropriate. Okay, so they've already had that conversation. They've already established a healthy relationship. There has been no circumstantial proof that this person would cheat on them. But for whatever reason, when they see that they added this person, it goes into their mind. It reminds them of moments when they got cheated on. It activates those beliefs that people cannot be trusted, that it's normal to be cheated on within a relationship. And they are now tapping into the emotional state that they felt in those originating experiences coming into the present moment. What do they do from that point? They confront the person, they project sadness, anger, distrust, whatever they're feeling from those past experiences on this person and say, you added this person, are you cheating on me? Again, no contextual or no circumstantial proof or evidence to this point that this person would be disloyal, cheat, lie, whatever it may be, right? So that would be a moment where somebody is triggered. The response that they're giving to the things that are currently going on is disproportionate to what is occurring. Okay? Now, what is not a trigger? Let's discuss that. Now, and I want to set some framework here. I do think that, it's normal for us to have triggers. All of us go through experiences that can impact us, and to the best of our ability, we should strive to be aware of how, past experiences have impacted us and make sure that we address it. Okay, so ideally, you have cultivated a practice of really adjusting your beliefs, regulating your nervous system, and for the best, the most part, striving to be dominantly healthy. In that sense, your subjective perception of reality and the objective reality that is going on should be very close, and that should be our goal when it comes to adjusting our mindset. We want our subjective experience of reality to be as closest to the objective experience as possible so that we can discern reality accurately and respond appropriately and set the example that allows for us to normalize and create the results that we want. Again, when we're holding on to past experiences, baggage, suppressed emotions, and we're constantly getting triggered, our subjective perception of reality is going to be off. We're going to be misperceiving reality and projecting past experiences onto the present moment, which is how you get stuck in negative patterns because you keep recreating them through your own reactions. And also, a tendency when you're operating through holding on to past baggage, negative or unhealthy beliefs, you have a tendency to be drawn towards similar people, places, and things to confirm your beliefs true. And so there's quite a few ways that you get stuck in negative patterns, right? To go back to understanding, though, what is a proportional emotional response, when you have done the adjustment work within yourself, you're going to be discerning reality accurately. So I'm going to give an example here. Let's say somebody comes up to me and they disrespect me. The way that our nervous system works is when we are in an environment where we're experiencing something that we don't like, we're feeling threatened, we're feeling unsafe, whatever it may be, our nervous system signals to us through emotions, hey, we do not like this. This is how it's making us feel. Now, if we have an accurate discernment of reality, which in that moment, if somebody is disrespecting me and I've done nothing to bring about that disrespect, I've done nothing to warrant that type of reaction from that person, a proportional emotional response would be feeling annoyed, feeling upset, not liking this experience, feeling disrespected, right? Now, in my own belief system, I may value this experience differently depending upon how I want to respond to it. If I view this person as insignificant, then I may not even respond to it at all. I may validate my emotions, right? I didn't like that. I didn't deserve that. I'm going to acknowledge that I didn't like that and that my feelings are valid. But at the same time, I'm realizing that this person is irrelevant. They don't deserve a response. It's below me. And so you may give no response or no reaction. However, if it's somebody that you have a history with or somebody that you have some sort of type of relationship with, then that may not be the approach that you take through your belief system. The other approach may be, again, holding beliefs that are healthy. I'm able to confront problems and create solutions. My emotions are valid. I'm able to handle challenges with grace. I'm able to communicate my emotions in an effective way. And I'm always able to set an example that creates the solutions that I want within my life. Those are beliefs. Beliefs, the intention behind that is to embody that belief through your behaviors. So if we have healthy beliefs about our emotions and our ability to be emotionally available and to remain present within our body and handle challenges in front of us, a component to that is honoring the emotions that we're feeling. And in a moment like that, feeling annoyed, feeling angry, feeling upset, feeling disrespected is a proportional emotional response. I need to validate my emotions and at the same time step into that emotion so that I can embody it in a way that is constructive, which means responding through it. Okay, if I'm feeling annoyed, I'm going to very deliberately embody that annoyed feeling and say, this is inappropriate. You cannot disrespect me. It makes me feel disrespected, annoyed, unseen, unheard. It's making me upset. In that sense, that is a proportional emotional response to the situation. And again, embodying of that emotion to set an example, right? This is inappropriate. I'm going to call you out on this. And then I'm going to remove myself. I'm going to regulate myself. validate my emotions and realize that I didn't deserve to be treated that way. And again, if we're in a healthy belief system, we're not going to internalize that treatment. We're going to move forward and continue to set an example. If you want to be in my life, you need to respect me. Now, this is very important to understand because there are some manipulative people in the world. Okay. That's just the reality of the situation here, where some individuals may try to attempt to make you believe that your proportional emotional responses to what is occurring is you being triggered. And that's not always the case. Now, I gave you the example here, right, of what a trigger actually looks like. If there is no circumstantial evidence to support the type of thinking that is going on and what you're projecting onto the present moment, then yes, most likely you're dealing with a trigger. But you're also a human with emotions that are valid, and not everything is a trigger. And in some cases, you need to embody those emotions from a self-preservation standpoint. This is about boundaries, right? And so there's certain emotions that we're feeling, like anger, okay, or annoyance, even sadness. All of our emotions are valid. We need to know the appropriate moments to embody them. In all honesty, every moment that you're having an emotion is a valid moment because your emotions are valid, right? So we need to know how to embody those emotions in a healthy way and use them constructively. And that's going to allow for you to set the proper example within your reality and for people to truly understand you, right? This goes into emotional availability. The right people are going to recognize, oh, that really hurt them. That made them annoyed. That made them sad. That made them mad. I care about this person. I'm going to be more aware of what I'm doing because I care about them and I don't want them to feel this way. Likewise, you're going to be able to operate that way with other people. But when you have individuals that are just telling you every single response that you have to them is just you being triggered and they're completely invalidating your emotions, you really need to discern that because it's not always, you're just always triggered. Okay. Your emotions are valid. And again, in some moments, we need to embody those emotions in a healthy way to set the proper examples within our life, with how we're handling dynamics, with how we're being vulnerable with other people, right? If we're not in tune with our emotions and we're not able to feel them and we're not able to embody them, what's going to happen is when certain things occur, you're going to suppress how you're feeling. You're not going to acknowledge how you're feeling. You're going to accept things that you don't want to accept. You're going to build resentment over time, and you're going to set the example that your feelings don't matter. And so this goes into a few things, right? We have to have confident beliefs with our ability to handle confrontation. We have to believe in our ability to create solutions. We have to validate our emotions and form a healthy relationship with our emotions. We need to be able to embody those emotions, and we need to be able to assert ourselves and uphold boundaries in a healthy manner. I just wanted to make this point today because I want to make sure that you are not over assuming blame and allowing people to manipulate you into believing that your proportional emotional responses to what is occurring is just a trigger. And here's the reality of the situation. You're allowed to have triggers too. Nobody expects you to be perfect. And in a genuinely healthy relationship, somebody that cares about you is going to recognize when you're triggered and they're going to say, hey, everything's okay. Yes, you need to address this. I don't judge you for this, but you're just triggered right now. And that's a human thing. And I care about you. Is there something that I can do better? When you have people that just shame you and tell you, oh my God, you're just triggered, you're annoying, blah, 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 those people, they're not caring for you in the way that they should be. And that's all I have to say. And you have to decide who is worth your time and who gets to be around you and the type of quality treatment that you're going to accept from other people. When you become very emotionally available with yourself this way, it's going to become very unattractive to you when people invalidate your emotions and they just go straight to accusing you of always being triggered and not taking the time to truly understand what you're feeling. That's important because if we don't have attraction to individuals like that, we're going to avoid getting into really negative, ugly dynamics with people. We're going to recognize red flags right off the bat. We're going to be able to remove ourselves before we get stuck in really ugly dynamics with people over months or years. So the main thing that I want you to take away from today's video is that not everything is a trigger. Some things may be, but you're also a human that has valid emotions, and it's going to be important for you to develop a healthy relationship with your emotions so that you can embody them in the proper moments. The last thing that I want to say is there's a lot of content online that says you need to be positive and happy 24/7, which is completely false. Even in this, all of your emotions are valid And things like anger, annoyance, sadness, those are valid emotions that in particular moments are going to be necessary for you to embody so that you can set the right example. It's unrealistic to be happy and positive 24/7 because you have certain emotions at play here that need to come into place so that you can set the proper example, so that you can be your true self, and so that you can be emotionally available and set an example that is, hey, I don't like this. That makes me feel hurt. Hey, I don't like this. That annoys me. Hey, I don't like this. That makes me angry. And the right people are going to say, wow, okay, I understand. I see where you're coming from. You have an accurate discernment of reality. That was a total lapse in my judgment. What I just did there was rude, disrespectful, or hurtful. Thank you for calling me out on it. I respect you for that, and I'm going to do better. And that's what you deserve. And if people aren't giving you that response, you really need to give them a side eye and think about who you're allowing close to you. Okay? I love you all so much. I hope you gained something from today's video. Until next time, I will see you later. Have a beautiful day. Bye.